Have you ever wondered if there's a map to a heavenly life, a kind of cheat sheet for happiness? What if I told you one actually exists and the directions are way, way simpler than you'd ever imagine? Today, we're going to open that map. We are diving deep into the Vimānavatthu, a brilliant collection of stories about these incredible celestial beings, their glowing palaces, and the surprisingly simple things they did to get there.
I mean, think about it. Can one single, heartfelt act of kindness, no matter how small it seems, genuinely rewrite your entire future? It sounds kind of like a fairy tale, doesn't it? But believe it or not, there's an ancient Pali text that argues this is the fundamental law of the universe, and it's got the stories to prove it.
And that text is the Vimānavatthu, which basically translates to Stories of the Heavenly Mansions. The setup for every single story is just pure genius. You have a great spiritual seeker who comes across a godlike being living in just absolute splendor, and they ask him one simple question, a question that unlocks the entire secret to their blissful life.
So heavenly mansions, one question. Now that we get the premise, let's look at the beautiful pattern that all these stories follow. Each one kicks off with a description of an almost unimaginable reward. We're talking golden palaces that move at the speed of thought, a life of pure joy. But everything, and I mean everything, hinges on the answer to one single pivotal question.
And this is it. This is the absolute heart of every single story. Manusabhuta kimakasi punyam. When you were a human being, what good did you do? And the answers? Well, they aren't about some grand heroic sacrifice. They're about these small moments of grace, moments that are available to every single one of us.
All right, let's dive into this. The power of simple gifts. Because this first category of answers is just so incredibly empowering. It shows that the path to a blissful future isn't paved with gold or reserved for the powerful. In fact, some of the most potent good deeds are the simplest offerings you could possibly imagine.
Okay, so in one story, a divine being is remembering her human life. She saw a respected monk who was just clearly weary and needed to rest. So what did she do? She says, Tassa adasa aham pitam. To him, I gave a seat. That's it. A simple gesture of respect. And her reward for that one small moment? A heavenly mansion, a celestial throne of her very own.
Or how about this one? In another story, a woman saw monks who were tired and thirsty from a long journey. Her response was immediate, just pure compassion. Uttaya patum udakam adasim. Getting up, I gave water to drink. And for that simple act of quenching someone's thirst, she was reborn in a celestial world surrounded by these beautiful flowing rivers of her own. The gift was literally reflected in the reward.
And this one perfectly illustrates the poetic justice of karma. Just imagine this. Darkness is falling, and you see someone struggling on an uncertain path. You offer them a lamp to light their way. Padipaka lamhi adasi dipam. At lamp lighting time, I gave a lamp. For bringing a little bit of physical light into the world, your reward is to be reborn as a being who shines with your own radiant inner light, effortlessly illuminating everything around you. How amazing is that?
Okay, so we've seen how powerful simple gifts can be. But the Vimānavatthu goes even deeper. It asks, what about the gift of your own character? Does the way you live your life, day in and day out, also shape your destiny? And the answer is a huge, resounding yes.
The text shows these two paths so beautifully. You can think of it like this. Dāna, or giving, is kind of like planting one really powerful seed, a single, potent act that can grow into something magnificent. But sīla, or virtuous conduct, that's like tending the entire garden of your life. It's the continuous process of cultivating integrity that creates fertile ground for all good things to grow.
And this good conduct is often defined by the 5 precepts. And it's not just a list of don'ts. It's so much more. Abstaining from harm. That really means you're actively cultivating kindness. Abstaining from taking what's not given is about fostering generosity and respect. Each and every precept is a commitment to reduce the suffering in the world. And by doing that, you purify your own mind.
Now what's really, really cool is what ties all of this together. So we've got giving things, and we have living well. But what's the engine that actually powers both? The stories reveal there's a secret ingredient. It's not just what you do, but the quality of your mind while you do it.
That ingredient is pasana setana. This is not just some vague idea of good intentions. The Pali word pasana means serene, bright, even confident, and chaitana
is your volition, your will. So what we're talking about here is a mind that is bright and joyful in the act itself. It's the difference between giving a gift out of obligation versus giving with a genuinely open and happy heart, expecting absolutely nothing in return.
And that's why this phrase is repeated like a mantra all throughout the text. Pasana panibihi panibasana. It translates to, with a serene mind, with one's own hands. This is the magic formula, right here. The pure, joyful intention combined with the personal, physical action. That synergy is what unlocks these incredible, destiny-shaping results.
And understanding this core principle of intention brings these ancient stories directly into our lives today. The message of the Vimānavatthu isn't just a collection of fascinating old tales. It's a practical guide for living a more meaningful and powerful life, right here, right now.
So, the timeless lesson here is this. First, your actions matter. Even the smallest deeds have a real impact. Second, your intention is key. That sincerity, that joyful heart behind the act is what gives it its power. And third, a good future is built today. The future isn't something that just happens to you, it's being built by you in this very moment.
So this explainer leaves all of us with an opportunity. The power to create these ripples of goodness is in your hands right now. So the only question left is, knowing all this, what small intentional act of kindness will you choose to do today to bring a little more light into the world?